Hello everyone, this is Jennifer Biedermann from Biedermann Jewelry. Welcome back to another video. In this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you how to weave this bracelet. I saw a lot of women, or I do see a lot of women wearing this type of bracelet, but it's not a weave. It's more like just a solid piece of metal hand forged and soldered together. However, I wanted to come up with a design that mimics that look, but with a wire weave. I will show you how to do this nice tight weave and then how to forge it and bend it over this way to create this look. The clasp I'm using, I had to put a clasp here and not just a cuff because the weave up here, see how it bends? So it's not going to stay on the wrist. So what I decided to do is do something very minimal and use these tiny little lobster claws with some jump rings. So what you're going to need for this project is you're going to need some wire, 18 gauge, dead soft, round wire. In this today, I'm going to redo this one, but this one is 8 wires across, so you can do that. But I'm only doing 6 today. I want to see what it looks like if it looks a little thinner to see the look. So today I'm cutting 6 lengths of 9 inches of wire. And for the weaving wire, I'm using 28 gauge weaving wire. So the tools you will need for this is that you're going to need a flush cutter or a cutter, round nose pliers to make your loops at the end. I always have bent chain nose pliers, and I always have some chain nose pliers just next to me. I will need it to, if I have to add wire, I'll need it to press down my wires so that nothing sticks out. And a ruler, of course. And I think that's it. Of course, you're going to need some lobster claws and a few jump rings. So get your materials together and we're going to get started. Okay, so let's start this weave. I've cut, as you can see, little itty bitty pieces of wire because I was actually starting this video, this tutorial, and then apparently, I don't know, it got deleted. I can't find them anymore. So rather than cut myself big long pieces again, I'll just show you the middle part and then I'm going to move on to my other piece that I have. So let's do this middle weave. You are going to start, when you've cut your 9-inch pieces, you're going to start 4 1/4 inches in, okay, from the left, 4 1/4 inches. Now, you're just going to lay your wire on top of your wire, like your weaving wire on top of your base wire. You're going to bring it around and you're just going to anchor it like that. Let me move in a bit. Okay. You're going to pick up a second wire. You will weave in the back. Around the front. And then between wires 1 and 2. Compress. Pick up your third wire. Making sure everything's aligned on the side. You're going to weave around that wire and between wires 2 and 3 and up. Pick up your fourth wire. Around the top and between wires 4 and 3, compress. Fifth wire, around the top, between wires 5 and 4. And your last wire, wire number 6, and if you decide to do 8 wires wide, then just continue up until your last one. Around and then between wires 6 and 5. Now you're going to want to compress this so that it's a nice straight line. Now we're coming around the front and we're going to be wrapping around 2 wires. So you're going to come around the front, go around wires 6 and 5, then between wires 6 and 5. Compress. Hold on a second, just adjusting my wires here. You're going to go around wires 5 and 4 over the front, between wires 5 and 4, over wires 4 and 3, between wires 4 and 3. Compress. Over wires 3 and 2, between wires 3 and 2, compress. Over wires 2 and 1, between wires 2 and 1. Now we're going to repeat this to the length that we need, and the length I'm doing it is 1 and wait a second. Let me just grab my piece. Just a second. You're going to continue this weave for a 3/4 inch, or you can go to a total inch if you want. Okay, now let's do this again so you can see what I'm doing. I'm going back around wires 2, between wire 2 and 1, back, and then over wire 3, between wire 3 and 2, over wire 4, between wire 4 and 3, over wire 5, between wire 5 and 4, over wire 6, between wire 6 and 5. Now these are not the pliers to use to compress. I don't know why I don't have my nylon pliers next to me, but just keep compressing. And then we're going to continue. Let's do this one more time. Over 2 wires, between the wires. Over 2 wires, between 2 wires. Over 2 wires, between 2 wires. Over 2 wires, between 2 wires. Over 2 wires, between the 2 wires. So now I've completed 2 sections, I guess you could say. I'm going to call these 2. Going up and down is 1, up and down is 2. So let me spread out my wires a bit. I'm going to show you how I do this a little bit faster, because once you get this weave down and you understand it, you will be weaving really fast. So I'm going to move out a little bit so you can see what I'm doing. I'm always holding my weave with my thumb and I'm moving up as I go. And I'm taking my weaving wire and I'm going around. And this is just compressing it down with my thumb. See how fast you can go? Now, see how I'm not compressing right away, but now I'm going to compress. I'm going to compress everything together. I'm not pulling my weaving wire, I'm just guiding my weaving wire. And I'm pushing back with my thumb. See? And compress. Now, this is just a little demo piece, okay? But you see what's happening here? I'm not paying too much attention because it's just a demo piece. You see I have a gap here. You don't want that. You want to make sure your wires are close together here, and always close here, and then you just want to spread them out over here so you have a nice channel to put your weaving wire through. But this gap you don't want, because as you continue, it's just going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. So just make sure that you push these two wires together, okay? And then you're going to do your length, and this is what it should look like. Nice, tight weave. Like that. So do yours for about, like I said, 3/4 of an inch to an inch at the most, because of the amount of wires you cut. And then I will be back and show you what to do next. So I finished my weave to the length that I wanted. And then when I finished it going down here, I went up 3 wires. And once you go up the 3 wires, what you're just going to do, I'll do it on this side because I already bent this side. You're just going to take your wire and bend, bend, and bend. So it's a nice rounded bends here, okay? Now, once you've gotten up to the 3rd wire, you're going to coil a few times until it's going to be, until you're able to weave comfortably the next wires. Okay, so I'm just going to coil a couple more times. Coiled about 6 or 7. I'm going to push that down and see where I want to be. So I think that's about where I want to start my weave. And the weave I'm going to do for these 3 wires is I just coiled here. I'm going to go in between the wires, and I'm going to come down around the back, and I'm going to weave around here 3 times. 1, 2, and 3. Once I've done my 3 wraps, I'm going to go in between the 2 wires and I'm going to compress like that. And I'm just going to continue that 1, go up around the top 2 wires 3 times, 2 and 3, and now I'm going in between the wires. And I'm going to do that for 3 inches. That's all I want to weave. Actually, let me just check something here. This is about 3/4, no, just under 1/2 inch. And I want it to go about 3.5. So if I go over here, just a second. Yeah, I'm going to weave for about 3 and just under 1/4 inches. So let's continue. Oops, completely out of frame. Sorry about that. I'm looking at my work and not my camera. So continue the weave. And then when I'm done, I'm going to just show you how to add wire, because you will have to cut your wire and then add wire over here. So I'm going to continue this and then I'm going to show you what to do next. Okay, so I've completed my weave, but I did stop at 2.5 inches. And I cut off what I had, my working wire, but I kept myself a little bit of a length, because if I have to add, I'll add, and if I need to take off, I'll take off. Now, to start the other side, you want to make sure that you're doing the same side. This is the top, this is the bottom. So I'm just going to turn it like this, and I'm going to do the same thing on this side, but just upside down. So I've cut myself another piece of wire and a little bit of a tail. We're going to go on this outer wire here and coil like we did on the other side. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and I want to do the same amount as I did over there. So I think I did 7. Yeah. So I did that. And we are going to do the same weave. So 1, 2, 3, and compress. So continue that weave to the same length as this one on all 4 corners. So you're going to bend your wires out like this, over on this side and this side. And once you've done your 4 corners, then I'll show you what to do next. Okay, so I've completed all 4 sides, and the length of the weave side from this side to this side is 5.5 inches. I left my tails on each end here because I may need to weave more or I may need to take off. So I am now going to shape this. So with your thumbs, very gently, you're going to start shaping. Don't do any fast bends, because if you do, it'll be very hard to put it back into shape. Always compress back, because as you're shaping it, the weave will start to come out this way. So I'm going to be shaping this all the way around. If you want, you can take like a round container to get yourself going. Oops, see, I did a little fast bend there. You don't want to do that. So I'm going to gently shape. And I feel my weave pushing down the wires. I'm just going to readjust. So here we are so far. So as you can see how you can shape it, let me go ahead and shape this off camera since you already see how I'm doing it, because I don't want to bore all of you. So let me continue shaping this and I'll be back. Okay, so now that we've shaped it somewhat, we will be doing some adjusting later. Doesn't need to be perfect now, but we've got the shape. I've tried this on my wrist and I'm good with the weave that I have here, but what you do want to do is just take your weave and push it down, okay? Now that I have my weave and I don't need to take off or add, what I'm going to be doing is taking my flush cutters, and I want to show you something here. When I've completed my 3 wraps here, I just did 2 little coils to anchor it. And I'm going to take my flush cutters and I'm going to go very, very, very close and snip. Take my pliers And you absolutely need to push that down and check to see if anything's sticking out. If something's sticking out, continue to push it down, or you need to cut more off. I'm going to pull this down. I've already coiled around to anchor it. Flush cutters cut. Coiled cut. This would be a great start making your bracelets now. Start making your jewelry now. Christmas is around the corner, even though Halloween is just around the corner. Get all your stuff ready. These make fantastic gifts. Everyone in my family knows they're getting jewelry. So they send me pictures. I want this, I want this, I want that. Okay. Taking my pliers, and I'm just going to push everything down where I've cut. I'm going to stress this again. You need to push these down. There's nothing more annoying than having a piece of jewelry on your wrist and it's snagging on clothes or it's scratching your skin. And the person wearing it didn't make this, and they don't know how to get rid of that. So they'll just take it off and never wear it again. Okay, so just make sure that you do that. Now that we have this, let me zoom out a little bit. I've got these big, long pieces. Now, I want mine to be 7 inches. I had, what did I say? I had 5.5 inches all the way across, including this piece. So I am going to just maybe 7.5 inches. 7. So depending on the size, you know the length of your weave from end to end, and you know what your clasp is going to be by measuring. So I am going to do mine at about 1 3/4, just like this. So I am going to just see, I'm going to need to have enough to do my loop. So I'm going to cut off where it's going to leave me about right here. I'm going to put my finger there and I'm going to cut. If you're not sure, don't cut the whole thing. It's better to have more than not enough. So you know what? I'm just going to go up a bit. There, there, and there. So I have a 1/2 inch, and I'm going to do that on all of them. Measuring, cutting. Okay, so I've cut all my pieces. See, now it looks a lot better. Now, I just want to make one loop. I have 3 strands here. You may have chosen to do 8 across, so that means that you're going to have 4 here, okay? But in this case, I'm just going to push this one out. I'm pushing this one out. And this is how I'm going to do my loop, the middle piece. I'm going to take my chain nose pliers. I have my cheapy round nose here. I can't find my other good ones. And I'm just going to turn it into itself like that. pushing in so that it touches. So there's your little loop. Now what am I going to do with these guys here? Well, I'm going to do a little decorating here on the side. So I'm just going to do little loops. So I'm going to go right to the end here and I'm going to turn it into itself like this. Then I'm going to grab it and I'm going to continue turning it. And I'm just going to push it right here on top of my weave. Like that. Push it in. And I'm going to do the same thing to this side. And my camera fell off my thing. Let me pause and I'll be... Sorry about that. It happens. Okay, now I'm taking this and I am going to just turn this in. So I got two little loopy loops. I'm going to do the same thing on all four sides and then I'll be back to show you how to add your clasp, and we're almost done. All right, we're on the last leg here. We're almost done. You've shaped it. You've cut your ends. You did your little loopy loops. You did your loops here. I already did a clasp on this side, and you need to tweak. Okay, so you really need to try this on your wrist just to make sure everything's aligned. Tweak it, tweak it, tweak it. Take your time. Get your pliers out to adjust. Careful not to mar your wire. And just make sure it's in the shape. Okay? Now we are on doing the last bit. I'm using some 7mm outside diameter jump rings. These are 18 gauge. You're going to open a jump ring. Be careful how you open and close jump rings. You're going to take, this is where the bent chain nose pliers comes in, because if I had two, it'd be really difficult to manipulate, because I want to be very careful with this. Now, I'm holding my jump ring like this, and I'm just going to twist it open. I'm going to place it onto my loop here. Then I'm going to put my lobster claw on. Again, making sure that the lobster claw, you want the little piece here that you open it on this side. So I'm just going to place it on here like this. Now we need to close it, and there's also a way to close jump rings. Now if I were just to close it like this, I've got a big gap there. See? So you want to rock it back and forth, pushing it into until you hear that little click, so that they're touching, they're flush. Keep looking to see that it's closed properly. Again, if you're making this for someone else, you want it to be a nice experience to wear this piece. And just make sure that it's closed properly. Okay, this is closed. So now I have my lobster claw on. It's facing the right way. And I'm just going to put another jump ring on the end. Now, if your weave didn't get to the length you wanted and there's more of a gap between here, just add more jump rings. It's fine. It looks pretty nice with the dangly little jump rings in the middle. And see, I'm being very careful with my ring. I'm just not just going to throw it on there. I have to make sure that it's open properly and closed properly. Now, the other bracelet I showed you, I had two jump rings over here, or over here, because I guess my weave wasn't long enough. So just adjust with jump rings, and we're done. We are done. Look at that. Now, I'm really happy. I really like this design. I love the lines. I like the symmetrical lines. You can even make this a lot longer if you want, the size you want. I'm going to keep tweaking this to make sure that everything is like aligned and everything. But that's it. I hope you like this tutorial. If you need any assistance, any help, I need you to send me a message or leave me a comment. I don't want you to be frustrated. I want you, if you're stuck somewhere, I need you to comment so that I can answer you. I answer everybody. I'll see all your comments. And by the way, thank you so much for your positive comments. Makes my day. So I enjoy doing this for you. And if you like this tutorial, you can go ahead and give me a thumbs up. And if you think someone else might enjoy it, you can go ahead and share it. You can visit me on on Facebook. At my name on Facebook is Jennifer Biedermann Jewelry. And you can also visit me on my Etsy site, and my shop name is Biedermann Jewelry. I also have another website, biedermannjewelryshop.com. So I have a lot of tutorials there if you're interested in downloading them, and a lot of people have, and I want to thank you very, very much because it makes it possible for me to continue these tutorials. So thank you for your support. I appreciate you all, and I will see you at the next tutorial. Have a great day.